Patricia Tancredi is from Women Against Surrogacy Belgium, and the title of her talk is A Fight Back Against Attempts to Open Up Surrogacy in Belgium, Creation of Women Against Surrogacy Belgium. So welcome, Patricia, and over to you.
I'll try to tell you very rapidly the story of our collective. It's the first time there is such a collective um, in Belgium. But it's not the first time that feminists have opposed surrogacy in Belgium. If we go back to 2016, there was Petra de Sutter. Petra de Sutter is a Flemish member of the federal parliament. She's a trans woman, by the way. And she tabled a report. She drafted a report at the Council of Europe, trying to give a frame to surrogacy. And this report was rejected following the mobilization of women and feminist associations. At that time, they were very numerous to take a stand against this issue. Then we go to November 2021 with the Feminist Rally that was against the American trade show called Men Having Babies. It's quite well known. And at that time, it was held in Brussels, in a very posh hotel in Brussels. On this occasion, ICASM, International Coalition for the Abolition of Surrogate Motherhood, had organized a demonstration in front of the hotel. And several future members of this collective, of our collective, who already were activists in the Belgian Feminist Association, had taken a part in it. I did take part in it, by the way, sharing the conviction in favor of women's rights, that is the fight against the reproductive exploitation. So some of us were dressed in the characteristic costume, the red costume of the dystopian series, The Handmaid's Tale. And we braved the bad weather and also some insults of some of the participants of the very well-known American Salon. Some of them called us bitches at the beginning. Then they just left. We didn't see them anymore. In March 2022, there was a conference organized on the initiative of Marianne Lentz, who is a sociologist and a lesbian feminist activist, and one of the co-founders of the Rainbow House here in Brussels. And she has an organization called El Tour, and she organized this conference critical of surrogacy. And she invited ICASM and also a woman called Donatien Portugals, who is the president of the Movement for Equality Between Women and Men. And she's also a member of the Women's University, which is a very important feminist organization here, and that helped us very much. This event, the organization was partially hampered by a pro-surrogacy gay men's association. The funding was cut off. And at the end of the conference, there was the idea of creating a collective of Belgian women against surrogacy. But we had to wait until the end of 2023 for Belgian activists to meet again with ICASM. This time it was in Netherlands, in The Hague, to oppose the Hague Conference of Private International Law, which promotes the reproductive exploitation of women as an acceptable model. Once again, new links were forged after this gathering. I was there too. And from a small WhatsApp group of a really few women, we managed to gather around more or less 20 active women around our collective. And we could organize two things. First thing is a petition. And second thing is an event that was held on 28th of March 2024, this year. So this work is unsurprisingly the fruit of the voluntary efforts of all our members, for which we all thank them. But I would like to return a little bit against the occasion in which this collective was formed. And the petition is against an opinion called Opinion 86, coming from a bioethical committee. This bioethical committee is quite official committee existing in Belgium, which is made up of experts. So we have doctors, sociologists, psychologists, and so on. And this committee can be addressed by officials, mostly by officials, to give answers to questions concerning bioethics. So the last time this was done, it was the minister, state secretary, how we call it, of health, called Pascal Van den Broek, who addressed the committee and asked for their opinion about the framing of surrogacy. In Belgium, surrogacy is not forbidden, but it's not allowed either. So there is a gray zone. You can do both. Some hospitals do it, but there is no real law about that. So this minister asked the committee what to do should Belgium increase framing of surrogacy. And the answer of the committee was yes, it should indeed. And it was a way of doing it really upsetting because they also changed words. For instance, instead of saying surrogate mothers, they were called gestators. And all these kind of things, saying that some people are very much suffering in our modern states because for either reasons they cannot have a child. So the duty of the collectivity is to help them, including surrogacy is a way of helping people who are desperate because they cannot have a genetic child, and the genetic child is important. So they also shed a very bad light on adoption, and it's in reaction to this opinion 86. We really went in this reaction. That's why there was a petition and the organization of this meeting. And this is how also our collective found itself under attack. On social medias, after sponsoring one or two publications, we were called right-wing white feminists, and even sometimes fascists or Nazis, white supremacists. Then there were some feminists at heart that defined women's right to prostitute themselves, so on the same line with surrogacies. Men and women came to tell us what it meant to be a feminist, with the reversal of the very well-known argument, my body, my choice. I can remember personally one Belgian collective. It's like a bar, they have social events and so on. And the answer was, no, we are in favor of surrogacy because this is a capitalist word and women have the right to survive by any way. So if they can earn money with their bodies, they have to. It's good. We have to approve that. And so you see also, when you come back to my body, my choice, you can see the link with abortion, because the shortcut has been made several times. If you're against surrogacy, then you're against abortion because you don't respect women's self-determination. Apart from social networks, we've also encountered some surprising reactions from associations. From a small number of associations, we've received total rejection and accusation of intent, such as watch out, they're certainly right-wing, certainly anti-abortion, and so on. And so the conclusion is that if this subject makes people so tense, it's certainly because the stakes are very, very high. And it also shows that part of society, which presents itself as left-wing, agrees with the idea of commodifying women and children, of seeing them as objects, incubators on the one hand, and persons to be given away on the other hand. And this left, which calls itself progressive, feminist, and anti-capitalist, ask women to produce children for people other than themselves and with no desire to have a child, and therefore to put one's health at risk in order to produce these children and allow men to reproduce with their own gametes, with their genes. But the risks of pregnancy are very much concerned, as Marie-Joseph has already noticed. And so women are being asked to gamble with their health, and for nothing, just out of altruism. This is another topic that comes on. Aren't women already altruistic enough? Who looks after the children, the sick, the elderly, the disabled, and who in general organizes family life, sacrificing desires and so on? We can quote a Belgian feminist and lesbian author, Irene Coffer, who unfortunately died in 2022. And she wrote already back in 2015 in La Revue Nouvelle, a monthly, assuming, if we can assume that money issues can be erased, as feminists, we can only wonder about this altruism, so stereotypically attributed to women, educated and socialized in the sense of sacrifice. And that's the end. That's what an article by several authors show, including Candice Autain, who is the gynecologist in charge of surrogacy requests at a hospital, Saint-Pierre, the main hospital in Belgium, doing surrogacy. And the article is entitled Au cœur du don, la dette. In the gift, the debt is the heart of the gift, and features the testimonies of 5 surrogate mothers. So there were 3, the authors say that there were 3 main reasons for becoming a surrogate mother. First is the gift, which is rooted in the idea of some kind of reparation or debt to the society. Second, the pleasure of being pregnant. And third, financial risks. So in this article, there's not only the idea that women can feel a sense of indebtedness that directly concerns their actions, but also a duty to make reparation for some debts incurred by the previous generation. In concrete terms, for example, those testimonials include the following. There was a woman who decided to become a surrogate mother because her son was in remission from cancer. So this is a debt to the universe. A woman who decided to become a surrogate mother because her own mother had abandoned her. So she felt she had to make amends for her mother's fault, which is the intergenerational aspect of that, which can go back to Adam and Eve. So we have, we've talked about haters, detractors, but we've also received an enormous amount of support. We were supported by 17 feminist associations. I'm not going to introduce maybe all of them, but some of them are very important to know who they are. There was Isala, an association supporting people in a situation of prostitution. There was the European Network of Migrant Women. There was La Voix des Femmes, the voice of women, supporting migrant women in Brussels. Le Conseil des Femmes Francophones de Belgique, the Council of French-speaking women in Belgium. Siempre, that means always in Spanish, a support and accompaniment network for Latin American migrant women in Belgium. There was the Collectif des Familles Monoparentales, who is supporting single-parent families, mostly women. Well, you all know that. There was Jump, working for a fairer society, a more inclusive businesses. There was the organization I already talked about, lesbian organization El Tour, organizing lesbian and rainbow tours to raise awareness of history of queer history in Brussels. There was Le Monde Selon les Femmes, where it's following women, a feminist NGO that has been working since 1994 for a world where relationships are built on equality, diversity, and solidarities. There was Make Mothers Matter, an international NGO relaying mothers' concerns at the highest international level. There was El Tourne, an association promoting women artists in the audiovisual sector. Femmes de Droit, supporting and promoting women's rights. There were bigger ones like l'Observatoire des violences faites aux femmes, which aims to take stock of violence against women in Belgium, and whose president is Mrs. Viviane Teitelboom, who is also a Brussels member of the parliament, of the federal parliament, and president of the European Center in the International Council of Women. And I must say she was the only political woman to take part in our event, who took place on March 28th. And so her two organizations supported the petition. There was the Movement for Equality Between Women and Men, which studies gender issues and promotes egalitarian, civic-minded, and sustainable human development. And last but not least, there was the Women's University, which is really the most important association that supported us, giving us venues and all kind of support. And that gives us, that issued a very interesting study about surrogacy already in 2015 and keeps on taking part in it. So this is these are the conclusion. Unfortunately, we have other bad Belgian news against women, like legalization of prostitution, which is very, very recent. I will not talk about that. It's not today's topic, but it's just to say that fight is far from being finished.